You know something is truly odd when even experts with all their tools are confused and can't provide answers. From puzzling artifacts to phenomena that can't be explained, here are the 20 weirdest discoveries that have left scientists puzzled. Number 20. Ancient enigmatic billboards. If you try to imagine what the oldest billboard in the world looks like, what comes to mind? I don't know about you, but I didn't expect that it would be a sign that's thousands of years old, nestled in the 5,000-year-old port city of Dhalavira on an island in the salt flats of the Great Rann of Kutch, India. There is a site known as one of the best-preserved urban settlements of its age. In Dhalavira, step wells, reservoirs, houses, and different structures didn't crumble as expected. It stood the test of time, earning the site its reputation as one of the most remarkable discoveries in Indian archaeology. The most intriguing remnant of the settlement, however, are pieces of mineral gypsum that once formed 10 large symbols on a big wooden board. Together, these pieces are believed to be the oldest billboard in the world. It's been 5,000 years since the sign was created, and we don't know what's written on it. The symbols on the billboard are known as one of the earliest forms of monumental writing, dating back around 5,200 years. Wouldn't it be amazing to crack the code one day and find out what messages or stories were so important that they were carved into stone for everyone to see? Number 19. Salish Sea's haunting feet. On August 20, 2007, beachgoers on the serene shore of Jedediah Island, British Columbia, were welcomed by grim news: human feet. Year after year, a human foot, sometimes still in footwear, gets washed ashore. But it doesn't stop there. Over the years, more than 20 such feet have been found scattered along the shores of the Salish Sea, which includes parts of British Columbia and Washington state. So what's behind these macabre findings? Initially, theories ranged wildly from foul play to maritime mishaps. However, the mystery gradually unraveled with scientific insights and forensic research. Turns out the feet are thought to belong to individuals who tragically met their end through accidents. The bodies naturally decomposed in the water, and due to marine life activity, the feet, typically encased in buoyant sneakers that protect them and keep them afloat, detach from the rest and eventually wash ashore. Researchers used pig carcasses to simulate human decomposition in the sea to understand how these phenomena occur. They found that sneakers played a crucial role in why the feet surfaced, as modern sneakers are designed to be relatively buoyant. This, coupled with the unique oceanic currents of the Salish Sea and the prevailing winds, effectively brought these detached feet to the shores. However, the identity of the owners of these feet remains unknown. Number 18. Millennium-old preserved brain. When experts excavated a 1,000-year-old brain from a 10th-century churchyard in Belgium, they were all pretty perplexed. You see, the brain is the first thing to deteriorate when a person passes. Since the mid-17th century, only about 4,400 human brains dating back 12,000 years have been excavated from archaeological sites, with more than 1,300 found preserved alongside skeletonized remains. Finding a human brain that's still wet and well-preserved after thousands of years is incredibly rare due to the usual rapid decay of brain tissue postmortem. The preservation of these brains is so unusual because typically brain tissue begins to decompose almost immediately after death. It's known to be one of the first organs to liquefy due to its high fat content and water composition. Well-preserved brains that are thousands of years old were seen as a bizarre phenomenon. Scientists theorize, however, that the human brain can survive and avoid decomposition in incredibly specific circumstances. For instance, researchers have discovered preserved brains in various conditions, including those recovered from waterlogged graves, bogs, and even frozen in glacial ice. In these environments, the absence of oxygen, the presence of cold temperatures, or peat can significantly slow down the decomposition process. Number 17. Concrete book, art enigma. Did you know that there's a book made out of concrete? The concrete book, created by the German artist Wolf-Vostel in 1971, is quite literally what it sounds like: a book, or supposedly so, entombed within a concrete block. Vostel was a member of the Fluxus group known for its experimental art. He created 100 of these concrete slabs, each said to encase a copy of his work titled Concretifications. Quite fitting, don't you think? But the question as to whether this chunk of concrete actually contains a book or not remains. The University of Chicago, which owns one of these slabs, has been trying to discover the answer using cutting-edge technology at the Argonne National Laboratory. Researchers employed powerful X-ray beams from the advanced photon source to peer inside the concrete. This technique, known as X-ray diffraction, was expected to reveal if there's indeed a book or any form of paper inside. Now, I know you're aching for an answer, but unfortunately, despite these high-tech efforts, the mystery remains unsolved. Initial scans have shown some intriguing internal structures, possibly metal wires, but no definitive signs of a book as of yet. The investigation has become a broader reflection of what defines a book. Is it the physical pages and cover, or could it be something as abstract as an idea encased in concrete? This intersection of art, science, and philosophy has made the concrete book a fascinating subject for art historians and scientists. What's your take on this one? Let me know in the comments down below. Number 16. Tuckernuck's Macabre Millipede Mystery. Nature can be pretty perplexing sometimes. There are some bizarre incidents that even experts who dedicated their entire lives in the field failed to comprehend. This is just one of those incidents. For decades, scientists have tried to uncover the mystery behind the headless millipedes of Tuckernuck Island. Each year here, numerous millipedes are found decapitated along the trails and beaches of this small Massachusetts island. Initially, the phenomenon was dismissed, but when it kept happening year after year during the summer, scientists finally decided to take a look into the bizarre phenomenon. The said victims are Narcissus americanus, or the American giant millipede. Initially, experts thought that figuring out this mystery would be pretty easy after all. The sandy island is relatively small. And yet, researchers still don't know whether it's an animal or something else that's causing these headless millipedes to show up. Theories range from birds, rodents, and beetles to millipedes engaging in a weird behavior that we have yet to observe. To this day, the exact cause remains elusive, making this one of Tuckernuck's most intriguing natural mysteries. Number 15. Baobab Tree's Rapid Demise. Perhaps you've read the classic work of Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, The Little Prince, and you're already familiar with baobab trees, or possibly you live in one of the few countries where these trees continue to thrive. Regardless, there are several mysteries surrounding these trees. Recently, archaeologists have been racing against time to preserve Australia's baobab trees and the history they preserve. Over the expanse of the Tanami Desert of Western Australia are 22 baobab trees with dendroglyphs, symbols, and images carved on their tree bark. These trees have been a significant part of the indigenous Linka clan of northwestern Australia since time immemorial. It has blessed settlers since time immemorial. Its roots can be woven into strings, its sap is used as a vital ingredient for medicine, and its bulbous trunk can store as much as 26,000 gallons of water. It's no wonder that the Linku clan used these trees to immortalize their carvings. But with the trees slowly disappearing, we might be unable to unravel the secrets of the Linku dendroglyphs, at least not before the baobab trees disappear. On the other side of the world, Africa is also facing their own dilemma that experts can't solve. In Africa, the baobab or the baobab tree is an iconic symbol of its rich landscape. Despite being a different species, the African baobab is rapidly dying out for reasons unknown. In fact, as we speak, over 13 of the oldest baobabs in Africa are in the process of dying or have already ceased to live. In time, these majestic trees might only loom in books and might go completely extinct. Number 14. Star's Mysterious Terrestrial Jelly. Star jelly sounds like a dessert from a fantasy world, but it's real. Star jelly, also known as astromyxin, has been a head-scratcher since it was first documented in the 14th century. Their name is pretty explanatory. This substance is said to be jelly that comes from stars. At least this has been the belief for so long. Star jellies are blobs or jelly-like substances that have been discovered in the woods. The origin of these soft substances has been a mystery for so long, but these jelly-like things have been associated with stars. People in the past linked it to falling stars, hence the name, thinking it was a celestial phenomenon. There are several more logical theories about where these blobs come from. Some believe it could be regurgitated frog spawn from predators that couldn't digest their amphibian snack completely. Other explanations include a variety of natural sources like slime molds or nostoc, a type of algae that swells up into a jelly-like mass when wet. These organisms are common and can suddenly appear under the right moisture conditions. Again, we're still unsure what star jellies actually are, and perhaps because of how unappealing other theories are, many still believe that these things are related to the cosmos. Number 13. Missouri's Mystifying Highway Pickle. In 2012, passersby on a highway in DeSoto, Missouri, were often greeted by a jar of pickles on top of a concrete barrier near the ramp. Yes, you heard that right. After months of being seen atop the barrier, the pickle jar has become a local landmark and an internet sensation. Some speculate it could have been a secret message or a private joke on public display, while others, however, think that it might have been left behind accidentally by someone with car trouble. As mysterious as its origins are, what's truly remarkable is the community that has formed around this jar. In fact, years ago, there was an active Facebook fan page with over 23,000 members where people didn't just discuss theories. They also shared pickle recipes and stories. The jar has faced the elements, surviving harsh winters and ongoing construction, and yet whenever it disappears or gets damaged, it somehow reappears and gets replaced. Despite the occasional periods where the jar goes missing, its followers remain hopeful that it will continue to reappear. Now, this might be nothing but a fun prank that was surprisingly well received, but that doesn't take away its mystery. Number 12. Naga Fireball's Celestial Spectacle. On full moons in October, a mysterious phenomenon occurs in the Mekong River in Thailand. At dusk, the river allegedly is graced by the presence of glowing red orbs known as the Naga Fireballs. The fireballs appear during an annual festival marking the end of Buddhist Lent. Local lore dictates that the Naga Fireballs are the breath of the Naga, a mythical serpent living in the river, celebrating the return of Buddha from heaven. However, the actual origin of these lights remains uncertain. Some suggest natural causes like methane gas produced by the decomposition of organic matter, which ignites when it meets the air. While this seems like a likely theory, there's the fact that you need an incredibly specific set of conditions for methane to ignite. Add to that the movement of the Naga Fireballs, and the methane theory won't hold water. Another theory is that the fireballs could result from phosphine gas or plasma worms created by electrical activity, but this is yet to be proven. There are also theories that the fireballs might be man-made, possibly involving flares or tracer rounds fired from across the river. This has sparked debate, but many locals steadfastly believe in the supernatural origin of the fireballs, viewing them as a natural phenomenon. The lack of conclusion leaves the mystery of the Naga Fireballs open. Number 11. Circleville's Unsolved Terrorizing Letters. If you like reading cold cases, perhaps you've heard about the Circleville letters. This case continues to perplex experts to date. Ready for this creepy story? It all began in the town of Circleville, Ohio, back in the late 1970s. The mystery begins with Mary Gillespie, a school bus driver who started receiving anonymous letters accusing her of an affair with the school district superintendent. These letters were not just simple notes. They were threatening, filled with personal details that only someone closely watching could know. The situation escalated tragically when Mary's husband, Ron, perished in what appeared to be a car accident after receiving a call from someone claiming to watch their house. Authorities concluded it was an accident due to Ron's high blood alcohol content, but the circumstances remained suspicious. The letters didn't stop with Ron's death. They continued, and the suspicion eventually fell on Paul Freshour, Mary's brother-in-law, after finding a convincing piece of evidence linked to Paul along Mary's bus route. Paul was convicted, and yet strangely enough, the letters continued even while Paul was incarcerated. The investigation brought in the FBI and utilized forensic handwriting analysis, but no conclusive evidence could pin down the letter writer definitively. This anonymity and the continuing letters, even after the prime suspect was jailed, led to widespread paranoia and fear in the community, straining relationships and leaving a lasting impact on Circleville. Number 10. Linen Book's Etruscan Enigma. Liber Linteus Zagrebiensis, Latin for the Linen Book of Zagreb, is one of the most mysterious artifacts of the ancient world. Unlike most ancient texts, usually written on stone or papyrus, this one is written on linen, making it the only known surviving example of a linen book from antiquity, and it's written in the mysterious Etruscan language. But that's not the only reason why this ancient text is special. You see, before archaeologists took it for expert analysis, it was actually used as mummy wrappings for an Egyptian mummy. The mummy, identified as that of a woman named Nisihensu, was the wife of a Theban tailor. This bizarre reuse of the linen occurred because by the time of her mummification in the 1st century AD, the Etruscan civilization had long vanished, and their language was forgotten, turning what was once a valuable document into mere cloth. The text of the Liber Linteus is primarily a religious calendar detailing rituals and ceremonies, which suggests its original use was likely for liturgical or ceremonial purposes. Despite its importance, much of the text remains a mystery due to the limited understanding of the Etruscan language. Only 500 words are known from the approximately 1,200 legible words on the linen. Number 9. Toynbee Tiles' Cryptic Message. Have you heard about the Toynbee tiles? You see, if you roam around the streets of the United States, you might come across bizarre tiles with equally perplexing messages. The most common inscription on these tiles reads, Toynbee idea in movie 2001 resurrects dead on planet Jupiter. This cryptic message seems to draw from multiple sources, including British historian Arnold Toynbee's theory about civilizational decline and renewal and Stanley Kubrick's classic sci-fi movie. So far, many have tried to trace the origins of these tiles that seemingly appear out of the blue in over 24 major cities in the US and South America, and yet no answer was ever found. One leading theory, however, is that the Toynbee tiles were created by a reclusive Philadelphian named Severino Verna, believed to have created the tiles from the 1980s onward using a unique method involving linoleum and asphalt glue to make his cryptic street art last through weather and traffic. Verna's motivation seemed to stem from a deep engagement with Toynbee's ideas and a fascination with the potential of life beyond Earth, as depicted by the themes of resurrection and space colonization in the classic sci-fi movie. While some see Toynbee tiles as a unique form of street art, others think these tiles are something more meaningful, as some of them contain criticisms and conspiracies. Unfortunately, despite extensive research, the origin of these tiles remains unknown. Number 8. Phaistos Discs Unsolved Script. On the old continent of Crete is an ancient script that archaeologists can't unravel. These symbols are stamped on a disc discovered in the ruins of Phaistos on the island of Crete. This disc, now known as the Phaistos disc, was found in 1908. It's made of fine-grained clay and is only about 16 centimeters in diameter. This artifact is recognized as one of the earliest known forms of printing, predating Gutenberg's printing press by over 1,000 years. It's dated anywhere from 1850 BC to 1400 BC, placing it squarely within the Minoan civilization. However, the exact purpose of the disc remains a topic of debate. Theories range from it being a sacred text or a calendar to a storytelling device or even a board game. Each of the 45 unique symbols stamped on the disc repeats several times, creating 241 individual stamps in total, yet no one has successfully cracked their meaning. Number 7. Maine's mystifying Viking penny. In 1957, a Norwegian silver coin dating from the reign of King Olaf Haraldsson around the late 11th century was discovered at a Native American site in Maine. This site, known as the Goddard Site, is nestled in Nisqually Point, Brooklyn, Maine, and the discovery was made by an amateur archaeologist, Guy Melgren. The coin's origins and journey to Maine sparked intrigue. Initially mistaken for a 12th century English coin by Melgren, further analysis confirmed it as Norse, pushing the timeline back by about 200 years. This twist adds to its mystery and begs the question: how did a Viking coin end up in Maine? That's the question. The authenticity of the coin itself isn't in doubt, thanks to expert validation, which identified it as genuine, minted between 1065 and 1080. So how did it end up in Maine exactly? Does this penny reveal that the Vikings reached Maine in the past? That's still debated. While it's well accepted that Vikings landed in Newfoundland around 1000 AD, traveling further to Maine remains speculative. Some theories suggest that the Maine penny might have traveled through extensive Native American trade networks from Newfoundland to Maine. Number 6. Min Min Lights Illusion. You've heard about the Naga fireballs. The Min Min lights are something similar. The Min Min lights are bright, glowing orbs that appear in the open landscapes of Queensland. Described as fuzzy orbs about a quarter the size of the full moon, these lights can appear in various colors, mostly white, but sometimes green, yellow, red, or even blue. They have a bizarre habit of moving erratically and can even split in two. This enigmatic display has been part of the local folklore in the outback for ages, often seen near the now-abandoned settlement of Min Min. For a long time, the Min Min lights were wrapped in mystery, and various theories emerged. Some said they were spirits of the past, while others thought they might be natural gases or even UFOs. However, the scientific explanation, as proposed by neuroscientist Professor John Pettigrew, is just as fascinating. He suggested that these lights result from a natural optical phenomenon known as fata morgana. This occurs when a layer of cold air traps light from a distant source, bending it across the curvature of the Earth, thus making the source appear close, shimmering, and very real. The lore of the Min Min lights is deeply embedded in the region's culture. Indigenous Australian stories, for instance, talk about these lights in a context that connects them to ancestral spirits. An optical illusion. Spirits? Regardless, many are delighted to see them. Now it's time for today's topic. Just take a look at this picture. Confused? No wonder. This is among the strangest discoveries that left scientists scratching their heads. At this point, it's normal for us to discover the strangest things on the beach. Each year, beachgoers from all around the globe seem to have a bewildering beach story to share. Beachcombers also learn to just shrug off any mysterious and unexplainable thing they encounter on the beach. This find, however, is so bizarre that locals couldn't help but seek expert advice about it. This unnerving lump of flesh was found near the water, but no one could explain what exactly it was. By the looks of it, it seems like a chunk of flesh with a layer of fur or outer covering still attached. At the same time, however, it also looks like some sort of prop. Theories range from an alien creature, a hoax, or a prop, to a normal animal part like a sea flipper. The said specimen disappeared overnight, leaving experts with no choice but to try to identify it from images alone. And so, to this day, the the mystery behind this specimen remains. Number 5. Dropa Stone's alien inscriptions. Discovered in 1938 by a Chinese professor named Qi in the Bayan Kara Mountains are 716 stone discs, known as the Dropa stones. Each of these stones measures about a foot in diameter and is etched with hieroglyph-like spirals, reportedly detailing the crash landing of the Dropa, an alien race, on Earth around 12,000 years ago. Despite the fascinating narrative, there is significant skepticism surrounding the authenticity of these stones, and to this day, debate about the Dropa stones continues. Many researchers dismiss the story as a hoax, citing a lack of credible documentation and physical evidence aside from the stones themselves. Additionally, the tale is often associated with Erich von Daniken's controversial ancient astronaut theories that have been widely criticized by scholars. Nevertheless, the mystery of the Dropa stones has captivated the imagination of ufologists and conspiracy theorists who believe the stones could be evidence of early alien contact. The story of the Dropa also highlights broader issues in archaeology concerning the interpretation and validation of artifacts that fall outside conventional understandings of history. Number 4. Shambhala's spiritual dimension enigma. Shambhala, also referred to as Jayanganj or Sidram in various traditions, is a legendary place that has perplexed not only experts but people from all around the world. The story goes that this place exists in a different dimension or plane, invisible to modern technology and unreachable by conventional means. It was said that only those who are spiritually enlightened can reach it. Ancient texts and folklore suggest that this mysterious land is shielded from the outside world, not only geographically but also dimensionally, making it invisible to satellites and impervious to ordinary human exploration. Legends articulate that Shambhala serves a profound purpose, preserving ancient wisdom and influencing the world in subtle, spiritual ways. Despite some doubting its existence, many believe that this sacred place indeed exists. Number 3. Saqqara bird's aerodynamic mystery. Looking at this artifact, what do you think it is? If you said it looks like a bird, you're right. This is the Saqqara bird. These small artifacts have been discovered in the ancient Egyptian necropolis of Saqqara, and ever since, these objects have been shrouded in mystery. These artifacts are carved from sycamore wood and date back to around 200 BC during the Ptolemaic dynasty. The most common interpretation of the Saqqara bird is that it might have been a ceremonial object or perhaps a toy for an upper-class child, considering its resemblance to the falcon, a bird widely revered in Egyptian culture and often associated with several major deities, including Horus. However, others believe that the Saqqara bird isn't actually a bird but rather a plane. You see, some believe that the ancient Egyptians had an advanced understanding of aerodynamics that enabled them to create a glider or a flying machine. This theory primarily stems from the Saqqara bird's design, which includes what appears to be a vertical stabilizer, something not found in natural bird anatomy but essential for the aerodynamics of modern aircraft. Experiments conducted by contemporary researchers, including those using replicas of the Saqqara bird in wind tunnels, have shown that with the right modifications, such as adding a tailpipe, the bird could achieve lift and glide for short distances. This has led some to speculate about the extent of ancient Egyptian knowledge and whether they had a conceptual grasp of flight. To this day, the debate about the Saqqara bird continues. Number 2. Fresno Nightcrawler's cryptid enigma. Is anyone here from Fresno, California? If so, then perhaps you're already familiar with the Fresno Nightcrawlers. These little cryptids remain a mystery to this day. For those who are hearing about these creatures for the first time, the Fresno Nightcrawlers are essentially white or pale beings that look like pants. Yeah, pants. They're mostly seen in Fresno, California, and have been described as having stilt-like legs with a very small upper body that tapers into a head lacking any discernible facial features or arms. The first recorded sighting of these enigmatic beings was in 2007 when a Fresno resident caught them on a security camera. The footage depicted what appeared to be a pair of walking pants gliding across his lawn. This footage stirred a mix of intrigue and skepticism, leading to various interpretations and theories. Some suggest they could be anything from extraterrestrial beings to puppets, while others believe they might be connected to Native American folklore, referred to as stick Indians or spirit-like entities associated with harmony in nature. Despite their fame, the true nature of the Fresno Nightcrawlers remains a mystery. Are they a modern-day cryptid, a piece of creative folklore, or an elaborate hoax? The debate continues as more sightings are reported, from the original Fresno locale to as far away as Yosemite National Park, where similar creatures were captured on a trail camera exhibiting the same distinctive floating walk. Now, perhaps some of you have thoughts about these beings. If so, feel free to share what you think in the comments down below. Number 1. Dresden Codex's Mayan hieroglyphs. The Maya civilization has left a lot for archaeologists to unravel, such as their sophisticated writing and calendar systems. But one of the lesser-known legacies of this civilization is still unsolved: the Dresden Codex. So what exactly is the Dresden Codex? It's an ancient Maya book dating back to the 11th or 12th century, making it one of the oldest surviving books from the Americas. Imagine a book, but not like the ones we have today. It's made from a mattel, a type of bark paper, and is beautifully inscribed with Mayan hieroglyphs. This codex is a real treasure trove of Mayan knowledge, especially about astronomy and calendrical systems. The problem, however, is that we have yet to decipher all the symbols in this book. We know it contains tables of computations like eclipse prediction charts, Venus cycles, and lunar tables. These helped the Maya track celestial movements with precision and played a crucial role in their cultural rituals and planning of agricultural activities. So far, 250 of the 350 symbols in this codex have been decoded. We have 100 more to decipher, and while we've made significant progress in understanding this codex, we still have a long way to go. Now I'm invested in these unexplained discoveries, and if you'd like to share any unexplained finds or cases, feel free to share them below. Also check out our other cool stuff showing up on the screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video.